Hello and welcome back to another Unreal Engine tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at hitboxes and I will explain kind of how they work and how we can set them up for enemy characters as well as our own character. This may be a shorter video and if it's requested I can go ahead and make an expansion on this to kind of explain how death might be implemented, how it can change around health, healing, things like that if needed. But right now this is going to be a quick explanation just so you can kind of understand how it's done. I'm going to go ahead and games here and I'm just going to create a simple first person level and I'm just going to name it Hitbox. And then I'm going to create it. Alright, so now within our game, let's go ahead to our content drawer and we're just going to create a new blueprint class. Let's go ahead and choose character here. We're going to do BP underscore hitbox dummy. Just to explain how it works. Go ahead and double click on it. Now let's go ahead to mesh here. Let's choose SK mannequin. Now that we have SK mannequin, let's go ahead and drag him down until his feet are a little bit below there. And then we're going to rotate him over this way, about 90 degrees. Now, the way that it works, actually, let's go ahead and give him a animation blueprint here. APB Manny, there we go. That works perfectly fine. Now, let's go ahead and go over here to add on the top left, and we're just going to search for a capsule. Now, capsule collision here. Go ahead and drop it in, and we are just going to go ahead and name this chest hitbox. Go ahead and drag it over onto the mesh here. And then let's go ahead and just rotate this to the right. Let me lower this camera speed. Go ahead and rotate this to the right here. And then just drag it up. This is just going to be a general area for the chest hitbox. So actually, let's go ahead and disable this animation real quick. There we go. After compiling, he will stand still, and this will make it a lot easier. So go ahead here. I would turn off snapping. So go to scale, turn off snapping. Chest hitbox selected. Let's go ahead and just scale this. Oop, I forgot to turn off snapping for scale. We can leave it for location here. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we will move it in a little bit. Let's go ahead and actually turn off snapping for moving. Move it a little bit into the chest here. And then you basically just need to tweak it. Doesn't have to be perfect right now, but when you make your game, you do want it to be as close as possible. And we can just leave it like that for now. Now let's go ahead and we are going to scroll down a bit and we are going to look for collision here. Go ahead and drop down collision presets here. Out of can character step up on, we're of course going to say no. Collision presets, let's look for here. We're going to do custom and we're going to do query only, no physics collision. And then object type, we're going to leave it as world dynamic. Now here under visibility in camera, we're going to go ahead and choose block here. And then under the rest of these, we can go ahead and hit ignore. Now the reason we do this is under trace responses, meaning a line trace. Most weapons designed in video games will always shoot a line trace and that will deal damage. And what this is saying is that it will block the line trace. So once the line trace hits this, it's going to block and register a hit here. We're going to go ahead and click chest hitbox here. We're going to do Control and D. That's going to duplicate it. We're going to name it head hitbox. For this tutorial, we're just going to go with these two. However, I would go ahead and do a stomach hitbox. You can include that in chest if you'd like, or if you're making a game like Escape from Tarkov, you can have that as its own independent hitbox. And one for the arm here, one for the arm here, one for the hand, but I would register all those as arm. Exact same for the leg, maybe one for the pelvis, but the more coverage you can get, the better it will be. Now let's go over here and click the mesh, and under collision presets down here, we're going to go ahead and change this to a ragdoll. Go ahead and compile and save, and let's go back and add the animation once again. So let's do animation blueprint APB Manny, and then compile and save once again. Last thing we need to do is assign bones here. So let's click on the head hitbox here. Parent socket, let's choose head. All right, we may need to move it. So it's gonna move it around a little bit. So let's go ahead and disable this snapping. Now, for some reason, what's really frustrating with Unreal Engine is with an animation playing and you move it, it moves with the animation and it is very hard to move with. So I always mess with these sliders instead on the right because it will not be affected by the animation. Let's go ahead and move it here into the head. And then let's go ahead and position it down here. Now for chest hitbox, let's go ahead and search here, and we're going to do spine 3. Let's go ahead and move this over. I'm going to drag this over and leave it right here. Okay, let's find some space here, ideally in front of where we spawn. Let's go ahead and drag in our hitbox dummy here, and then we're going to rotate him around so that he spawns in front of us. And then let us go ahead and find our first or third person character. So under here, under third person, blueprints, we're going to find third person character. Go ahead and open it up here. We're going to go ahead and just set up a line trace, but the best way to do that, of course, is going to make the character first person. So go ahead and take this follow camera here. I'm going to go into the viewport, drag the follow camera onto the mesh here. Now, while the follow camera is here on the mesh, we're going to delete the camera boom. And the follow camera, we're going to go ahead and assign the parent socket to head. Go ahead and reset the location and rotation here. Now go ahead and just move this 90 degrees this way and then 90 degrees to the right. Now with the sliders again, just because it does the exact same annoying thing here. So let's go ahead and move this here and just barely in front of the eyes like that. That works perfectly fine. Now within the camera here, we're going to look up use pawn, control rotation, and then within the mesh, we're going to look up yaw here. We should have use control rotation yaw. Compile and save, play your game, and just see if your camera feels correct. Should work completely fine. Now closing that, we'll go into the event graph and we're going to go ahead and we're going to start designing our line trace. Go ahead and choose any key. I'm going to do F, so type F here. Just scroll through until you find key F. Okay, there we go, F. Off of F, we're going to drag and leave some room, and we're going to do line trace by channel here. Go ahead and drag in the follow camera here, and we're going to do get world location and get world rotation. Go ahead and drag in an add here. We're just going to go ahead and connect get world location into the start. Off of this, we're going to do get forward vector. And then a multiply after that. Go ahead and drag this into the add here, and this is all going to contribute to the end. And then we're going to put in a number here. We're going to go ahead and convert this to a float single precision and change this to something like 500. To quickly explain this, we are going ahead and when pressing F, shooting a line trace. We're grabbing our follow camera, getting its world location. That will be the start of the line trace. And then we're getting its forward vector, so the forward direction of the camera. This will be the distance, so 500 units. It will shoot the line trace forward, and that will be the end here. I'm going to go ahead and go to draw debug type and choose for duration. Compiling and saving, it's always good to test. Let's drop into here, press F, and we should see a line trace shooting out. We should also see that it is interacting with the dummy here. After this, we're going to get the out hit, and we're going to do break hit results right here. Go ahead and drop it down, and we should find hit component here. Note that for later. First, let's go ahead and drag off of here and do an is valid question mark. And that is going to input the hit component right here. Now, what we need to do is we are going to judge off of a tag here. So drag off and do component has tag. Now, this seems to be the easiest way to do it without getting into C++ script. This is the easiest way to keep it blueprint. I like to keep it blueprint just because it's easier to manage, and switching from script to blueprint, it gets very complicated. I like to keep it one or the other. So let's go ahead and change our tag here to hitbox. And it's going to check if what it hit is a hitbox. So we need to go back to the dummy here. We need to find the head hitbox. We need to look up tag. And we're going to add a tag, and we're going to do hitbox. We're also going to add a tag to the chest and do the exact same thing with hitbox. And then go back to our third person character here. After this, we're going to add a branch. You can do that by holding B and then left clicking. Do under is valid here and drag it up. Now hitboxes are perfect for determining how much damage something will do. So if you want instant headshots, just do an absurd amount of damage for the head. It'll instantly kill them, but the chest maybe only do 20 damage and damage it a little bit. But we need to determine the hitbox type, and the way we're going to do that is we are going to create a function here that we can reuse later. So go ahead and create a function, and we're going to name it determine hitbox type. Now we're going to add a input, and we're going to name it hitbox. It's going to be of type here, primitive component. Make it a object reference. Compile and save here. First of all, we're going to need to make a enumerator. An enumerator is just a list of different variables basically that can be reused. So content drawer, let's go ahead back to content, and we're going to create a new blueprint down here. Enumerator, we're going to name it enum underscore hitbox type. Go ahead and double click and open it. We're going to create a new enumerator and just name it none. We're going to create a create another one, name it chest. Create another one and name it head. You can create more enumerators later, such as stomach, left arm, left leg, and right leg. But for now, we just need these two. Go ahead and save it, and we can close it out. We're also going to hit determine hitbox type here. On output, we're going to do hitbox type. And we're going to look up that enum. We can just do capital all enum, find enum hitbox type here. We can delete this return node. After this hitbox, we're going to do component has tag. Go ahead and start off by typing head here. We're going to go ahead and get a branch. So hold B, drag that in. Gonna check if it is the head. We're going to go ahead and grab a return node. This return node here, drag it in. My mistake, I didn't realize it would delete the return node if it didn't input into anything. So let's go ahead and add that output again. So hitbox type, it should save. We're going to go ahead and choose head here. And then we basically have to copy this over again. So drag over this, Control C, Control V. Let's put it into false here. So if it wasn't the head, then it will go over here and do chest. And then the return hitbox type will be chest. Now, of course, if it returns with no type of hitbox, we're going to copy and paste, and we're just going to say it returned with nothing. Let's go ahead and drag off of target, and we're going to type hitbox, get hitbox, drag this over here, just line it up. Go ahead and compile and save. That's it for this function. Now, if you were to change up and add, stomach, left leg, right leg, you're going to go ahead and just continue this the same way I did, copying and pasting. If it returns, it's chest. If it returns, it's such and such. Now, if you wanted to, on top of the true here, you could add a print string. So, for example, let's go ahead and do this. Print string. And we can go ahead and just say something like hitbox chest hit. I'm going to leave it as hello, though. Now going back into the event graph here, we're going to drag off of the hit component, and we are going to type in determine hitbox type. Go ahead and drag it into true here. Now after hit component here, we are also going to get the owner. Now with the owner, we're going to drag it over somewhere like here. Go ahead and add a reroute node just so it's easier to track. And we're going to cast to BP underscore hitbox dummy. Now, if you run this code, it will not react correctly just because it does have the tag hitbox, but we did not add in hitbox dummy the other tags. So for head, we're going to go ahead and add a new tag, and we're going to name it head. And the same for chest. We're going to go ahead and add it here and add chest. Now going ahead and playing our game, if we hit here the head, we should get hello, meaning that it is reacting as head correctly. I'm just going to go back into here into determine hitbox type. I'm just going to get print string deleted and connect it back up. Now within the event graph, we're going to delete all of these and we are going to create a custom event. We are going to name it receive damage. Hopefully I'm spelling receive correctly. That I and E screwed me up. We're going to add 2 inputs. First of all, the second one here is going to be the enum hitbox type, and we're just going to name it hitbox. We're going to create the other one as damage, and that one is going to be an integer. So an integer is just a whole number. A float is a decimal if you want a decimal, but I'm doing a whole number. After the variable here, we're going to create a new one, make it a Boolean, name it can receive damage. Drag that in here. Can receive damage. By the default, compile and save to access it. Check is true. This is just so when the character dies, it saves some code, as in, you know, if you shoot a body, it's not going to receive damage. So go ahead and check this in with a branch, pin that up, and then afterward, let's add 3 more variables. We're going to do overall health. Go ahead and change that to a integer. We're going to add another one, chest health, and another one, head health. After this, let's go ahead and drag off the hitbox here, and we're going to do switch on enum. Go ahead and drag that in here. That's just grabbing every single variable type. So if they can receive damage, then let's drag a pin here to organize it. If they can receive damage, let's go ahead and receive damage at these certain spots. Let's drag in our chest health here. Get. Let's go ahead and do a subtract here. We're going to subtract it from the damage here. Then let's drag off of this and do a less than node. Then we're going to plug that into a branch. This branch is going to go into chest. Go ahead and grab the chest health here and do set chest health. Leave it at 0 here. However, we're going to duplicate it and then do false here and drag in the result of the subtract here. Let's go ahead and copy and paste all of this. Duplicate it just below here. Now, of course, we are going to switch everything out for head here. So let's drag this in. I'm going to add a pin here, drag it over here, level it out, change chest health for head health. And then we're going to go ahead and switch these out. Head health, set. Drag this into here, move it down. Let's go ahead and add another variable here, and we're going to put it as dead. Make it a Boolean, compile and save here. And then after these two, we are going to go ahead and check and see if our overall health is 0 each time. So let's go ahead and here, grab overall health. Let's do less than or equal to 0. Now, if that is true, we are going to go ahead and mark dead as true. We are also going to get can receive damage. Set that as false. Go ahead and drag all of these in here. Just to briefly summarize this, we are receiving damage, choosing the hitbox and the damage. We are checking if they can receive damage, seeing what hitbox it is, assigning the damage to that specific hitbox. So for example, let's talk about the chest here. We're grabbing the chest, we're subtracting the chest by the damage it's taking to get the total here. Then what we're checking is if it's going into negatives, meaning that in kind of Escape from Tarkov terms, I'm kind of basing it around this health system because I find that to be the best for explaining hitboxes. The limb being blacked, meaning that limb is not used anymore, and it is going to check if it's already dead. If the limb is already dead, it's going to just keep setting it to 0. Limb is already gone. Chest health here, if it's not negative, meaning it needs to be subtracted anyway, it's going to go ahead and leave that as the remaining health. Then after each time, we're going to go ahead and check and see if the overall health is less than or equal to 0. If it is, we are going to go ahead and check them as dead and they can't receive damage anymore. Let's go ahead and grab the mesh here as well. We're going to do set simulate physics. We're going to check simulate here, drag this under here, go ahead and return it here. And we're just going to go over again, make it as easy as possible. Set overall health to 0. Just keep it there. Go ahead and compile and save. And now we need to actually choose how much health each limb has. So the overall health, of course, is always going to be every single limb added together. So let's do for chest health here, let's just do 20. Head health, let's go ahead and do 20, meaning that the overall health would be 40. Now back in the third person character here, we're going to, as BP Hitbox Dummy, receive damage. Let's go ahead and choose the damage here. Let's do 10. Oops, let's do 10. And the hitbox, of course, is going to be the hitbox that we determine. File and save here. So explaining this as well, we are, of course, line tracing, checking what hitbox it's hitting, making sure it's a hitbox. If it is, we're going to determine the hitbox type. So grabbing the tag, meaning it's a head or a chest or whatever, getting the owner of that hitbox, and then we're making them receive damage to that specific limb. Now, just to make things easier, let's go in the hitbox dummy here. Let's go ahead and hold control and drag this off and click away just so we get rid of that pin. Let's move these over just to be completely sure it's working. Let's drag out of here and do print. Let's do print text. Now in text, let's go ahead and drag both of these in here. I'll change it to a toText from integer. Drag that in there as well. And then this will go in here. And then this will return back. Let's go ahead and do the exact same thing. Let's do the exact same thing here. So basically all this is doing is we're going to print the text of the limb that we hit so that we can kind of just get an idea of if our system is working. Then dragging this into here, let's grab after the overall health. Let's print the text as well. So print text, drag that in here, drag that in here. So we always know the second number is going to be the overall health. And don't forget as well, like I did here for some reason, to drag the damage down into this as well. But of course, we also need to make sure to subtract the overall health by how much damage we took. So go ahead and clear this here again by dragging with control, move this over here a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and recalculate all the limbs. So grab chest, grab head, and then in the other case, you would just add all of the other ones together. Let's go ahead and do add that, and we are going to go ahead and set the overall health. So set right here, move these two in, drag the output as well. We can move that as the value as well as this. Drag this into here, move this up a bit so it's level. So going ahead and playing the game, let's go ahead here and see that if we go ahead and hit the head here, it drops down the overall health to 30 from 40 and makes the head 10. So if we hit this again, it'll make the head 0 and the overall health 20. Then if we hit the chest, it'll do the exact same. And then the overall health is about to hit 0. In that case, they ragdoll and they are considered dead. And as you can see, if we go ahead and hit them, it will not return with anything because they are told to not receive damage anymore. This has been my Unreal Engine tutorial on hitboxes. If you'd like me to expand a bit more, maybe have the Escape from Tarkov style UI in the corner that shows damage and assign the exact same type of function to the player, then I can go ahead and do that if y'all are interested. But for now, this is just a simple explanation so you understand how hitboxes work with the capsule components as well as how to calculate everything. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave one down below. All I ask is that you like and subscribe. I'm trying to do this part-time so that I can shoot out as many tutorials as possible. But for now, I hope you have fun making your games.